Hi, I'm Jacinta Coonahan and this is Coast Community News 5 at 5, February 5th, 2021. Coming up this week, the administrator faces his critics. Albo at Terrigal to talk gas. Wyong's Wallarah 2 coal project for sale. Free food and entertainment vouchers. The Mariners come back. And plus a rendition at the Rhythm Hut. To start, here's David.
Council's administrator, Dick Person, faced a fiery protest prior to Wednesday evening's council meeting. Locals had gathered to protest the administrator's proposed rate rise of between 10 and 15%. We interviewed the administrator about this and some other things this week. This is what he had to say.
Former Councillor Best, I think, had a bit to do with the demonstration last night, and I thought, well, that's a bit of a cheek. And he came to the council meeting last night after the demonstration to tell me about the hardship that would be brought upon low-income people in Wyong, notwithstanding the fact that their rates are going to go down. But I finally interrupted him and said, well, you brought in a rate increase for these same people before the merger. And he seemed surprised, and I think his response was, that's a fair question. I brought him back to it another time. So there's a fair bit of politics and maybe even a little bit of hypocrisy here.
We will publish the full interview in 2 parts next week, so keep an eye on our socials and webpage. Now, Leader of the Opposition, Anthony Albanese, was at Terrigal Beach today to speak out on oil and gas exploration, the licence PEP 11. He was joined by community activist groups Save Our Coast, Surfrider and multiple Labor MPs, including member for Terrigal, Emma McBride. This is what they had to say.
We're joined today by Labor members representing communities all along this stretch of coastline. Matt Thistlethwaite, Pat Conroy, Meryl Swanson, Sharon Clayton. Thank you so much to all of my colleagues for your support and being here for this really important issue.
Because this is a proposal that would impact our coast from Sydney right through to the Central Coast, through to Newcastle and up to Port Stephens. This proposal covers an area of 4,500 square kilometres and would allow for oil and gas exploration as close as 5.5 kilometres from off this pristine coastline.
Today also we spoke with David Breeze, the Director of BPH Resources. They have overnight just lodged their intention to application to extend the PEP 11 licence for a number of years to the regulatory body. And this is some of what he had to say.
The announcement was all about the capital raising and the degree of support and the way in which we're able to so readily raise the capital shows that there is significant widespread community investment support for the company. We're certainly committed to continue with the project. Yeah. We think that, in fact, when you look at the federal government objectives, they see gas as a critical component of the economic recovery plan. The New South Wales government has released a plan for the next phase of energy.
And as you can sense, there'll be a lot more of that next week, when apparently Friday is the deadline for Federal Minister Keith Pitt and State Minister John Barilaro to decide whether the PEP 11 licence is allowed to expire or the licence to extend is given. So stay tuned.
Thanks, David. Korea Resources Corporation is planning to sell its 82.25% stake in the contentious Wallarah 2 coal mine as part of the efforts to cut its debt totalling by $6.1 billion as of the end of June 2020. It was reported in the Korea Economic Daily on January 6 that the government-owned corporation had called for bids on a stakeholder in the Wyong area's coal mine joint venture to comply with the South Korean government instructions to offload all of its overseas assets as soon as possible. Central Coast newspapers tried to contact the Wallarah 2 mine manager Ken Barry, but there was no reply. And businesses on the Central Coast are being encouraged to sign up for the New South Wales Government Dine and Discover voucher program. Minister for Customer Service Victor Dominello was at the Australian Reptile Park this week to explain the benefits it has on the coast and to cuddle some furry animals.
But today there's two real takeaways. The first is I encourage businesses to get on board. We're about to roll out the Dine and Discover initiative, which is really big in terms of the New South Wales Government. $500 million has been put to this to help businesses during these difficult times. And what we're going to do is make sure that every person in New South Wales above the age of 18 gets $100 vouchers divided into four $25 vouchers. Two for Discovery, that's two 25s for Discovery and two 25s for dining.
Now let's go to sport with Hawk.
Thanks, JC. In football, the Mariners are fresh from an intense 3-2 comeback win against Melbourne City on Wednesday, a triumphant result to mark Matty Simon's 200th game for the boys in yellow. Here's what he had to say.
To play, a special game like that in my 200th game for the club, and lucky enough for it to be on this beautiful stadium, and have my family and friends here, and a great crowd tonight, and get those 3 points is huge, and a night that I'll remember forever.
The Mariners will next play Western United at Central Coast Stadium on Sunday, 6:10 p.m. And just this morning, Australian Matilda Servette Ozenla cut the ribbon for Southern and Edelon United's new change room renovations that are now finished after a joint effort in securing grant funds from the club, member for Robertson Lucy Wicks, and member for Gosford, Liesl Tesh.
I feel like the change room is an important part that builds culture and that builds that sort of like team environment. It's their space for 20, 30 minutes to get ready, to have jokes, to put some music on, to do whatever they want to do, and then go out and play.
Also this week were some big achievements on the track and field, both at home and abroad. On Saturday, Mingara Athletics Club hosted athletes from across the state, country and world for a New South Wales interclub and showed off the high quality of our local talent from the coast. Notable wins went to George Wells in the discus, Imogen Breslin in the hurdles and Kelly McAndrew in the 400 metre. A full account of the event can be found on our website in the sports category. Further afield, Central Coast born and bred athlete Charlie Hunter broke an Australian 1 mile indoor record with a blinding 3 minutes, 54.54 seconds in Arkansas, where he competed for the University of Oregon. Charlie took 0.23 seconds off the previous record set by Mark Fountain back in 2005. Now in weather. Tomorrow, the weather will be at tops of 26 degrees, with a 70% chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon and evening. Winds will be coming northeasterly 20 to 30 kilometers per hour, becoming light in the late evening. Sunday will be mostly sunny with the tops of 28 degrees and a 30% chance of showers, most likely in the morning with light winds becoming south to southeasterly 15 to 25 kilometers during the day. Back to you, JC.
Thanks, Hawk. All of these stories are available on our website that as of last month had 200,000 users. And don't forget to pick up a copy of this week's Coast Community News, Coast Community Chronicle and Pelican Post. Subscribe to all of our social pipes to stay updated during the week. And we are now available on Spotify as a news podcast. Simply search Central Coast News on Spotify to subscribe. We leave you today with some funky footage of Rhythm Hut's upcoming act, Afro Moses, an internationally known reggae star from Ghana in West Africa. You can catch him on a live screen tomorrow through Rhythm Hut's Facebook page, but here is a snippet before we go. Catch you next week.
Sister, we are food, legs, but you can't dance on the dance floor. We are not in prison, but we are not free. Follow and respect the rules and laws. Sing this song, everybody sing it. One love, one